Hi, everybody. My name is Shantae. Monika was my sister, cousin, first cousin. I want to thank you all for being here, and I appreciate all of you coming in white. This is not really a sad occasion for some of us. It is a celebration. We were suffering for over 1,100 days. That's a long time to suffer. So today, I ask that if you want to come and say something beautiful about a moment that you had with her, because some of you are classmates from high school, some of you are some of her nurses. I remember coming into the office. Some of you are family, friends, but you're here because you were blessed to be a part of Monika Thompson Hearne's life. So that's why we're here. And we're going to open up in prayer. Mr. Tim, could you please come up?
Amen. Let us all say amen. We're standing, amen, for the prayer, if you don't mind. Amen. O gracious Father, the God of comfort and all comforting spirits, Lord, we're asking right now that you'll send forth that spirit upon this house. Lord, we know that you're a God that sees all and knows all. Father God, for you said in your word that let the redeemed of the Lord say so, that we are the redeemed. Now, Lord, come forth right now. Give us beauty for ashes. Amen. And Lord, lift us up. And as we say in our prayer, we simply just going to say, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Lord, give us this day and day by day our daily bread. And forgive our debts as we forgive our debtors. And Lord, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from all evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory. Send thy spirit now. Amen, amen, and amen.
I'm not really a mushy person, but when it comes to Monika, that's a part of me. We were left and right cousin. If you see me, you see her. I'm on the left, and she's always on the right. She was my dancing partner. We loved to dance. Our first time winning a dance contest was in California, and they were just outside of our house. They were just dancing, but we didn't have a routine, so we went in the house, and Monika was like, we can do it. We can do it. And I was like, okay. So we got our little dance together, but it was together, but it wasn't together, if you know what I mean. Like, you practice, but you really didn't practice, because we wanted to go back outside and beat them. So we go back outside, and we're just dancing. We're off. But it was just something about when I looked at her and she looked at me, we just started doing everything that we would do in the house. And we won. So it was like, okay. So then when we moved, both of our mothers, they traveled back to Texas, to our hometown, and we always would be with each other in the summers. And this one summer, we were living in Dallas, and I don't know if you guys know the Guy CD I Like. So that was our favorite cassette player. And we would be in the house just dancing. So I asked my mom, I was like, Mom, can we go outside and do the dance? And she was like, nobody's gonna watch you guys. And we were like, we just wanna have a big open space, so we can dance. And so we did it. From that one weekend, we would dance every weekend, and we got other people to dance with us. They would have their dance routines, and we were like in a crew, we were just dancing, and if you know Monika, if you knew her, she loved to dance. She loved to sing. Oh my goodness. She would sing and sing and sing. And she was a very determined person, so we told her that she couldn't sing, so she went and took singing lessons. So you guys remember? And then she would just be singing everywhere because her instructor said she could sing. She's the best person. So then after she took her singing lessons, every time we did something, it had to be karaoke. It's karaoke. Gotta have karaoke. And Monika had this thing in her that I always wanted. It didn't matter how she looked to other people, whether some people thought she was fluffier than most. It didn't matter what clothes she had on. She knew that she was a gift from God. And she walked and she did it with grace. And knowing that she could not sing, she would get up on that stage and she would sing. And people loved it. And so I had to be like, oh my gosh, like, to me, she couldn't sing because she couldn't sing. But to everybody, she was like, you see that? And I was like, yeah, I see it. And so, she's like, give me my respect. Okay, you can sing, so that's my cousin. She was a beautiful person. She was very gifted. You give her a problem, if she didn't know it, give me 2 days, I'll give you an answer. And that's on anything medically, scientific, geographic, anything, business. She taught me how to be a classy woman and how to command a room with your smile. Y'all see that smile? Yes. She always had that smile. Whether she was working 48 hours and you walk into the hospital, she has that smile on her face. And the most thing that she loved the most was Khyris and Khyral. So when you guys do leave here today, always say a prayer, please, for the protection and the guidance of her daughters. Because that's what she did it for, So if anybody would like to say anything, it's your chance.
Thanks, cuz. Good afternoon, everyone. I am the older brother of Dr. Monika Hearne, Mario Thompson. I could stand before you here today and speak all day about my sister, but I'm not. What I came up here to do is stand before you and give my personal gratitude to the family, friends, her classmates, schoolmates, business associates, staff members, other friends across the states, to Vitas, Hospice, if you're here or if you're streaming online, if you can hear me, thank you. Sunnyvale Fire Department was very helpful throughout this ordeal. Is Nurse Amy here, or if she can hear me? Thank you for your support. I don't want to forget anyone. Nurse Amy, it's Juana here from Vitas. She was a good help. She kept my sister clean. She loved my sister. She talked to her, showed her all kind of love while she was there. I want to thank New Hope Funeral Home Service for their service. Again, and I will piggyback off my cousin. Keep my nieces, Khyral and Khyris in your prayers. Keep our family in your prayers. I appreciate all the text messages from friends and family, the support of my family. Thank you all. And to my sister, I love you. She was a go-getter. She was a go-getter. Dr. Monika Hearne.
Yes.
We came from nothing
Yes.
to something.
Praise the Almighty.
Her patience, if any of you that are here, thank you for your kind words. I think I already said the staff members. Anybody that had anything to do with her development as far as her becoming a doctor, thank you all. I don't want to keep rambling, but I appreciate your attention. I appreciate you being here. Those are streaming, I appreciate you for listening. Thank you all.
What a blessing. What a wonderful blessing. Monika was born to us. My name is Princess Dianne Cherry. I'm her cousin. I'm the cousin of Dianne. You see, we both got that Dianne in there. Most gratifying thing I remember is that when Nita invited us to her, I was one of the ones privileged to be at one of her graduations. I felt so grand walking in there. My cousin is going to be a doctor.
Yes.
Oh, that made me feel so good. And she wasn't any kind of doctor. She was a doctor that delivered babies. Did you know? That is a touch by an angel doctor. When the mother carries the baby for 9 months, it's on water, you know, and it's in darkness. Monika is there to greet the baby. She's there to give that baby love. She's there to hold that baby with love. She was indeed an angel to us. And I'm so blessed that she was blessed to be born to our family. I'm so proud. I'm so proud, Monika. I'm so proud to be her cousin. And when we went to that wedding, oh, I thought I was Miss Grand. I was like, oh, I'm in heaven. She made me feel real good. So my memories of her is her bringing us up to high places. She took me out. I was like, oh, you know. So, and to her girls, she loved her girls, and I'm so happy that she had the life that she had and the memories that you all have with your mother. Some people live a whole lifetime and don't have those types of memories. So you cherish them. She will always be in your heart forever, for eternal. She will be there. And blessings to all of her friends and colleagues. I want to thank you all that was part of her life and that showed her love. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. If I had known I was going to come, I would have sat closer towards the front, but I was way in the back. But I just couldn't let this day go by without saying something about my friend and classmate. Beautiful person. She was one of my best friends in high school, continued through college, and we still kept in touch every now and then. I was fortunate enough to have her as my doctor during one of the most pivotal times in my female reproductive life, and I'm thankful for that. People always said, no, I couldn't let my friend, look at me down there. I said, well, because she's my friend, that's why she is. I know she's gonna take care of me. She's not gonna let anything happen to me. She's gonna tell me the real, and she's gonna help me, and that's what she did. She was the only one in high school. She was a little bit crazy. We would turn our clothes backwards and wear it to school. She was the only one who would do that with me and I with her. Just great person. I know she loved her girls and she inspired me. When we were younger, she used to ride the city bus. I was like, I want to ride the city bus too. Mom, can I ride the bus? She was a teenage worker. I was like, I want a job too. Just because I wanted to do what Monika was doing. And whatever she wanted, she got. She had a family in mind. She did what she had to do to get a family. She had a career in mind, did what she had to do to get that. And she was just such a great person, such a great friend. And I'm glad you all had her for the time that you did. And I will pray for the girls. And I will pray for you, Shantae. And I will pray for you, Mario. And I will pray for Miss Dianne. But let's just celebrate the beautiful person she was and try to instill some of that within us if we don't already have it. Thank you.
I am Barbara Garrett, Mario's grandmother. Why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come? Why should my heart feel lonely when heaven is my home? When Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is he. His eye is on the sparrow,
and I know He watches me. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. Oh, His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. Oh, His eye is on the sparrow, and I know, and I know, and I know He watches over me and you.
We love your family, from the entire Garrett family. We love you.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I'm Tasha. Mario is my brother. Trying to explain to others the relationship between my brother, his sister. Okay. My brother, my sister. So like I told my coworkers, growing up, we were all dipped in the same tub, we all drank out the same cup. So Buffy will forever be my sister and live in my heart.
Hello. My name is Khyral. I'm her first oldest. And I have a lot of memories of my mom. She loved us a lot, and there was never like any moment where I thought she didn't love us. She just really cared for us and did so much for us. So I thought I would just share some stories about us. Well, one of the things she loved doing is she loved traveling, and she loved just trying new things. She loved trying new things, and she wanted us to try new things and not be afraid of doing something because we weren't good at it or we've never done it before. She just wanted us to be out there and not be afraid of anything, really. One of the things we tried was dancing, and we danced for 5 years, and throughout that, I remember this one moment where I was getting like one-off classes just by myself, and like a week before our competition, my dance teacher comes up to me, and she was in the room, she was watching me practice. My dance teacher comes up to me, says, "Okay, are you ready for your solo?" And I was like, "What, solo?" I thought this was just practice. I didn't know this is a solo. I'm like, "Yeah, what do you think you're in here doing? You're doing a whole choreography dance. Yeah, I made a whole choreography for you. Do you think this was just like for fun?" I was like, "Yeah, I didn't know I was doing a solo." My mom comes up to me like, "Yeah, I thought you would be really good for a solo." I was like, "What? I'm not going on stage by myself. No one beside me, and the judges are only staring at me. I don't want to do a solo," but I ended up doing the solo. So I go on stage. I'm terrified, but I do the solo, and I ended up getting second place. I was sad because I didn't win, but my mom and my dad were just like, "That was amazing. That was your first solo ever, and you got second place." I never did a solo again. I was so scared. But yeah, that's just one moment. Another thing is there are many. I'm terrified of bugs and critters and stuff like that.
Yes.
So there was this one moment. I was coming home from school. I was in middle school. My sister was in elementary school, so we rode different buses. So I was coming home from school, and I saw it had just rained, and I saw a frog in our front yard. Now, I was halfway to the door, but I saw it, like, it was right, if I was standing right here, it was, like, right there. So I, like, sprinted back, because what if it jumped on me? I didn't want that to happen. So I sprinted back, and at the time, we had a code so you could open the garage. So I was just like, okay, I'll just go behind the house and open the garage and get in that way. So I go back, I go to the garage, and then I remember something. Our driveway to the garage is on like a hill, right? So right in front of the garage, there's this puddle, and it's filled with all these other critters. So I'm just like, great, I can't open this garage, because what if they get in the garage? And I don't want that to I don't want that to happen. So I just stand there for a few minutes, and I'm like, okay, I can't get to the back door because of the puddle. I can't get through the garage because of the puddle. I guess I'll take my chances with the frog. I go back around, and by the time I figured all this out, it's been like 20 minutes. And I go back around, and there my mom is, just standing outside looking for me. She's worried sick because I'm 20 minutes late. And she sees me. She's like, "Khyral, what are you doing?" I'm like, "There's a frog." She's like, "What? I don't see anything. Like, I was a frog. I was going to go through the back." Like, "No, just come on, get in here." So I'm just like nervously walking up, holding my backpack because I don't want anything to attack me. I'm looking for the frog. I don't see it. She notices I'm like tiptoeing, and she just tells me to run in. And I run in, and I'm safe. I'm like, oh. I'm like out of breath because that took so much out of me. And by the time I stepped in, I had been out there for so long that my sister's bus had already come home. So my sister came in, and she's just like, "What? Why do you stuff your backpack on?" I'm like, "Oh, you don't want to know. That's a whole story." Another time, when I was coming home from school, I was in the same grade, middle school. I get home, and there's this ginormous spider web with a spider right in the center. And it was huge. I later figured out it's a black widow. So I was right in being scared of it. It's poisonous. So I see this huge spider, and I see this red thing on its back. I'm like, I'm not messing with that. I don't know what that is. I'm not messing with it. But we didn't have the thing in the garage at that time. So I couldn't go to the back and button myself into the garage. I was like, okay, what am I supposed to do? I could call and get through the back, but if I call, my mom's just gonna be like, "It's just a spider coming through," and she's not gonna let me go through the back. So I stand there for a moment, and our mom's room has a window where you could see right outside to the front yard. So I think she saw me just standing there, staring at the spider, opens the door and says, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "There's a spider right there. Do you not see it?" She's like, "What?" I don't know why. She couldn't see the spider. It was huge. Again, she tells me to run in. I run in because that spider, it saw me. I know it did. I run in. I later described the spider to her. And I'm just like, it was big. It was black. It had this red thing on its back. The spider web was huge. She's like, "Oh, yeah. I haven't called pest control in a while. That's probably why." And I'm just like, "What?" She looks it up on her phone. She finds it. She's like, "Oh, it's a black widow." She shows me the picture. And I scream and start running. And she's like, "It's just a picture. It's not going to hurt you." I'm like, yeah, but it's still scary. That's that. Another thing about her loving to try new things and getting us to try new things, she likes scuba diving. And she wanted to get us into scuba diving. She even took us to her classes one time. And we did not want to do it because I already don't like swimming because getting my hair wet and then having to like go to the hair salon, that's gonna take like a few hours to get done and it's gonna hurt. So I just rather not swim. My sister doesn't mind, but she didn't want to do it either. So she asked us, hey, do you want to do scuba diving? We're just like, no thanks, we're okay. She's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna do my lessons. You guys can hang around. So that's what we did. We just hang around while she was scuba diving. It looked really fun, but we just didn't want to do it. Another time is we were going to go to Colorado for my birthday, but the minute we were in the airport, there was like a snowstorm or something, and it got canceled. Our flight got canceled while we were at the airport. We had our bags checked in, we were sitting at the gate, we were ready to board the plane, and it got canceled. So we're just like, well, that's great. We just spent hours here for nothing. But our mom, she went off on her own. So we were just like sitting there. It's like, well, what are we gonna do now? I guess we're gonna go home and celebrate my birthday at home, I guess. So, but then she comes back. She has food for us, and we're just like eating. And then she tells us, hey, what do you guys think about going to San Francisco? We're just like, what? San Francisco? What are you talking about? We're supposed to go to Colorado. She's like, yeah, but I'm like booking this flight. I found some hotels. We can go to like San Francisco right now if you want to. And we're just like, sure, okay. We're still confused. We don't know how she did that, like in seconds. And she tells like the whole plane people and all that stuff. We ended up going to San Francisco, but they lost our luggage. Yeah, so we were just at the hotel, no luggage. Couldn't do anything, and it was not fun because we were all gross and sweaty, and we've been at the airport for like 5 hours. The plane ride was another few hours, and we wanted to take a shower, but we didn't have anything to change into, so we're just like, ugh. She takes us to the mall so we can buy things for our trip because we don't have our luggage, and my sister and I didn't know that the airport people were going to be paying for our stuff. Our mom knew, we didn't know. So our mom was looking at all this expensive stuff. She was like, ooh, look at this looks nice. Like, ooh, you should get this. And we were like, what? No, that's so expensive. You already paid for this flight, this hotel, and for us to get here. And you're trying to spend more money on us to getting us clothes, and you're not even looking at cheap stuff either. This is like this was Tommy Hilfiger. It's really expensive. So we didn't get that many stuff. She got so many dresses and stuff. We got like 2 shirts. Called it a day at that. Later on, when our luggage came in, she was like, oh, finally. And then she told us like, oh yeah, the airport people were paying for all that stuff. I'm like, what? We would have bought more stuff if you would have told us that you weren't paying for it. But yeah, we got our stuff. We got our stuff. We didn't end up going to the mall again because they're like, you have your stuff. We're not paying for anything else. And that's that story. That was fun. We went to Mexico. That was a lot of fun. Sidetrack. A place she liked visiting by herself was San Diego. And one time she took us to San Diego. She was like, yeah, I love it here. I don't know why I showed you guys, because next time I come, you're gonna wanna come with me. But yeah, I love it here in San Diego, and it was great. We went to this restaurant that was kind of close to our hotel, and we were eating breakfast there right before we flew off, because it was the end of our vacation. And they had this amazing blueberry lemonade. I had 3 cups of this blueberry lemonade, and I asked for a 4th, and they were just like, hey, here's the recipe. You do this much lemonade and this much blueberry, and then you stir it around and add some sugar. Because I was just like, can I have another blueberry lemonade? Every single time they came, I asked for another one. And their pancakes pancakes weren't that bad either. And my mom was just laughing at me because I had so many cups. I ended up getting full and having a stomach ache. But yeah, that was really fun. Okay, back on track to Cancun. Yeah, we went there 2 times. And we stayed at the Hard Rock Hotel. I don't know if it was Cancun that we went to, but there was this one place where we went parasailing, and that was so much fun. It was so scary at first too, because you were in the air. It's like we could drop at any moment. And she had a picture of us. I forgot where that picture went, but we went parasailing, and that was a lot of fun. Yeah, we traveled a lot. There was this one time where we went to I think it was Florida, and I think she used to live. Yeah, it was Florida. She used to live near there. Yeah, and she took us around. Like, she just took us like a tour of her hometown. Really, she was like, "Oh, I used to live in this house. Oh, I remember this school. We used to go to this school. Oh, I remember this restaurant. We love this restaurant." And I don't know if some of you guys would know, but one of the restaurants that had this amazing bean dip that she remembered was Acapulco. And as soon as we stepped in the restaurant, she ordered the bean dip and said, "Oh, it didn't change," and she was so happy, and that was nice. I'm trying to think of more stories. Oh, there's this one time. Okay. In elementary school, I loved running. I would be that annoying kid that asked, "Hey, do you want to race?" And everyone would say no, because I would always win the races. But but she realized this, and in 4th grade, she signed me up for track. I hated track. I hated it with a passion. I did not like track. There's something about going around in that circle that just made me feel slower. But she signed me up, and we went to a competition. Khyris was in it too. And she signed me up for the 100, and that's it. She just signed me up for the 100. So I'm on the race. I get ready, and they hit the whistle. I start running, and this girl, we were categorized by grades, because it wasn't official. We weren't in high school. We were categorized by grades, and this girl, who was like at least 5 years older than me, was right beside me and goes zooming to the finish line. So I see her, and I'm just like, what? Because I was used to winning, and seeing that I was beating everyone else who was on this side of me, and seeing that one girl sprint, like she had a huge lead on me too. Just seeing that, and when I lost, I was like, man, I can't believe I lost that. She was just like, hey, it's okay. I don't know what they're talking about. She has to be in like 8th grade or something, and I was only in 4th grade. She was like, oh, whatever. I was still upset about it. Like, whatever. And then, oh my gosh, she signed us up for a 400, which is one whole lap around the track. Yeah. She signed my sister up too. Originally she signed my sister up because she wanted a snow cone. She was just like, well, if you do this, if you do this 400, I'll get you a snow cone. And originally the deal was I just had to do the 100 to get the snow cone. But I ended up doing the 400 too to get the snow cone. My sister goes, it was a huge fail. It was horrible. So I'm just like, I'm not gonna like this. They put me in the 8th lane, which is farthest from the center. They hit the buzzer, and I'm zooming. I'm in 1st place. I was like out there, and by halfway through, I started getting tired because I was used to sprinting, which is putting everything I had in that one time. I wasn't used to pacing myself to be able to finish. So by the halfway point, I was done. I had used up all of my energy, and I was just kind of jogging, seeing everyone else pass me. And I was just like, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I know I'm slow, go ahead. And by the time I was at the 300 mark, which is like I had that one straightaway, I just started walking. I completely stopped. I was like, everyone has passed me. There is no hope for me. I'm not going to be able to run this last dash. And right where I stopped is where the bleachers were with all the crowd and everyone. So they're just looking at me like, you can do it. Go, you can do it. I was like, you try being down here and doing this. I can't do it. So I just started walking, but then I see my mom at the finish line. And I was like, oh man. So I started running again. And then as soon as I hit the finish line, they handed me my ribbon. I was like, oh, 8th place, I don't want this. And I go laying down on the field. And of course she was worried about my health and stuff. Like, oh, don't do that. It's not good for your lungs and whatever. I was like, okay. I stand up, we get our snow cone. And I was like, ugh, that was not worth it. Because that snow cone, I don't know, it wasn't the most sugary snow cone I've had, I'll say that. But yeah, my sister, from what I saw, she was doing okay. I was suffering, but yeah. She kept me in track though. I did not like it, but she kept me in track, and I'm doing it now. It's okay. I wouldn't say I don't like it anymore, but I wouldn't say I like it. It's just something that I do because it's the only thing I can do, really. I tried out, I did basketball for a time. Oh, man. I could not play basketball. I had long arms, right? So a nickname one of my friends gave me was octopus arms, because there's this one time where we were running back to the opposing team. She was behind me, the girl on the opposite team. They were trying to pass to their teammate, but I just stuck my hand out and slammed it down. But I didn't catch it or anything, so they ended up getting the ball back. And my coach was just like, hey, that's okay. Just next time, remember to grab the ball. I was like, okay. I didn't think it was going to do all of that, so I'll do that next time. Next time it happened, I didn't grab the ball. I slammed it down, and I caught it, but, these girls are, like, really huge. And I was just like, and they were, like, all on me. I was like, I can't get anywhere. And all my teammates were like, hey, pass me the ball. Like, how am I supposed to do that? There's a girl in front of me, there's a girl behind me, there's a girl on this side. Every time I move, someone's blocking me. So that just ended that round. No one got the ball. I was just like holding it like this because I couldn't do anything with it. I was really bad at basketball. But I still did it in middle school. I was a post, which is the person that stands next to the basket, and basically their only job is to shoot. Because usually posts are really tall and can't dribble. And that was me. I couldn't dribble, but the problem was I also couldn't shoot. So my only job was to shoot the ball, and I couldn't shoot the ball. So I would freak out every time I was on that block. Right next to the basket, I was like, oh man, I'm wide open. They're gonna pass me the ball, and I'm gonna have to shoot. And if I shoot and if I miss, they're all gonna be like, you had no one on you. You were free, you were unguarded, and you missed that shot. I'm like, yeah, I know. I was just freaking out. But what I was really good at in basketball was, because I was so nimble, I guess you could say, and quiet, I was really good at sneaking behind other girls and just being open without anyone looking at me, without anyone noticing. But because of that, my team also didn't notice me. So my coach usually, whenever I was open, I did this cool maneuver. I went behind this one girl, hid behind this other girl, and I was wide open right next to the basket, and I was just waiting for my teammate to see me. My coach usually saw me first. I was like, hey, Khyril's open! And by the time, I was like, you just defeated the whole purpose of me sneaking around these girls. Because now everyone else is looking at me, like, hey, who has her? You're supposed to be guarding her. I'm like, oh, whoops. I don't know how she did that. But yeah, that was usually my job, but it never worked out. But she was so supportive of me. She loved it. She loved me running around the court, sneaking around, seeing me go back and forth, all of that. Ooh, she just loved us being active. We did soccer for a time being, and again, I was horrible at soccer. There's something about games with like a ball. I'm just really bad at it. This is why I only do track. I was horrible at soccer. I couldn't kick the ball. There's this one moment where I had a clear shot for the goal, and my coach was telling me to take it. But I was just like, and I passed it to my teammate. I didn't take the shot. So I ended up being goalie. And I was pretty okay with goalie because our team was so good that I didn't have to do my job. They would always be on the other person's side of the field, and I would just be standing there, watching like, oh, nice. Oh, good pass. Yeah, good job. And by the time they came to me, I'd just be like, and that's all I had to do. So it was really fun, and my mom liked me doing it because she saw I was having a good time, not stressed out because I had to run across the field and do anything. I was in all these sports, and I got hit in the head with a ball a lot. She would always be worried about me. I always had to reassure her because I was like, no, I'm fine. You see, I'm like standing, I'm talking to you, I'm fine. But man, the amount of times I got hit in the head with a soccer ball is amazing. And with the basketball. There's this one time I got hit in the head with like a regular bouncy ball, and I wasn't even playing the game. I was on like the other side of the gym. But yeah, she got us into gymnastics. That was really fun. There's this one time she lectured me because I went to gymnastics. I didn't eat anything before and I ended up passing out. By the time I got home, my mom figured out that I passed out. She was like, why did you pass out? I was like, well, it could be because I didn't eat anything. She was like, wait, what did you eat? Well, I had oranges. I'm like, you can't go to practice and not eat like some meat, some carbs, drink some water. All you had was oranges? Like, yeah, I thought I would be okay. I'm like, why would you think you'd be okay? Like, well, I usually eat oranges before I go to practice. But yeah, that didn't end well for me. Immediately after, she gave me like some graham crackers and like a protein shake. And I felt great after that. I was like, man, I feel so energized. I can do anything now. Like, yeah, that's how you're supposed to feel before you go to your practice. But yeah, it was amazing. We went up to a lot of places. We did a lot of stuff. I don't know why, I can't think of any stories with Khyris. I can think of this one time. But before I say that, we often liked sleeping with our mom. And sometimes she would be so tired or already asleep, and by the time we got there, we didn't want to like interrupt her sleep and climb on her bed. So we would just like lay out, make a nice mat beside her bed and sleep there. She loved it. We also like perform for her. She really liked that. She recorded a lot of our little performances. We would have like our like little CD player playing Just Dance or any other CD that we had, and we would like choreograph a dance and we would do it in front of her. She's like, wait, I gotta record this. That was really nice. But back to the story with Khyris. She has a yoga ball. She liked exercising. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're not talking about Khyris right now. Give me a second, I'll get there. She loved exercising, and she got us into her exercise. She made us do her exercises with her sometimes. And oh my gosh, I don't know how she could do some of that stuff. And she was sweating. It was weird, she was sweating, but she still had energy to exercise. So we would do like a plank, and then some squats, and then some lunges. She was like, okay, next thing. I was like, what? I need a water break. Like, I need to sit down, I need a water break. Man, is this fan on high? Or like, what's going on? She's like, oh, you're good, you got your water, let's go, next one. And we're just like, why can't we take a rest? Well, if you rest, then you won't be able to build muscle. Man, yeah, I don't know, to this day, I seriously don't know how she did that. Just exercised, and even though she was tired, she could still move on. I struggle with that, because I'm in athletics now, and when I get tired, I slow down and it's really obvious. I try not to make it obvious because my coaches, don't want to upset them, but yeah. Okay, now back to Khyris this time. I promise I'll say it. She had this yoga ball because she exercised, and there's this one area on her stairs that has like a blank, there's this one blank area on her stairs where you can like walk around and do things. Khyris was playing on the yoga ball in that area, and she ended up like lying on it and slid down the stairs. I don't know how she managed to do this, but she was uninjured, and the only thing that was hurting was her ankle. She somehow twisted her ankle, even though she went face first into the ground. And of course our mom heard it. She fell down the stairs. She comes rushing out of her room, and she's just like, "What happened? What are you doing?" Like, "Oh." And now I have to somehow explain to her that we were on a yoga ball on the stairs. So I was like, "Well, a funny story actually. We were playing on a yoga ball. Like, okay, I see the yoga ball. Well, that doesn't explain why you fell off the stairs." Well, we were playing on a yoga ball on the stairs. Why would you think that was a good idea? Well, it was okay in our head. Like, we were successful for like a good 5 seconds, okay? But yeah, I twisted my ankle, like the same ankle 3 times. It's ridiculous. But yeah, that's really fun. She was really good at taking care of us. I usually had a sick day once every year, springtime, because of allergies, and it just blossomed to a fever. And it only took me 2 days to recover, because she would take the day off of work too. She would take the day off of work just to make sure and give us medicine, make sure we were laying down, and all that great stuff. It was really fun. I remember this one time. Sorry, I'm saying a lot of stuff. I remember this one time where I was at school, and we were playing this game. To make it simple, it was kickball. And I kicked the ball, and I was running. I was sprinting, right? Because the people on the other side were really fast, and I wanted to get points for my team. And I was running, and all of a sudden, I hear this crack in my knee. I'm like, no, that's weird. I usually do this when I'm hurt. I see how bad it is, see if it's like a sprain or anything. And I was like, I've never felt this type of pain before. This is so weird. I ended up running back to the next base, and my other knee popped. Yeah, so I'm like, wow, I can't stand on either side of my legs right now. This isn't normal. Maybe I should go to the nurse. So I'm like, man, now I gotta stop playing. My teammates, they really need me. But this is great. Now I have to stop playing and get out of the sport and all that stuff. Tell my coach, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll take you down to the nurse. I go to the nurse. The nurse calls my mom, and I'm like, dang it, she called my mom. She's at work. I don't want to bother her. But she comes rushing. I don't know, she got here so quick. She got to the school so quick. And she's like, what, are you okay? Are you okay? And I was like, whoa, I didn't expect you to be here so quickly. Weren't you at work? You're a doctor. What if you're doing something really important? She was just working on some paperwork. But yeah, she gave me a whole exam, and I figured out it was osteoarthritis. It's a growing thing. And man, I had to sit out in gym class for a few weeks. But after the few weeks, my knees were still hurting, and I still couldn't do anything. So I go up to my mom. I'm like, hey, when is this supposed to heal? Because I've been out for a few weeks, and my knees still feel as bad as they did on day one. She looks at the paper that had, what I had, which is osteoarthritis. She looked at the paper, and she just starts laughing. She is, crying tears with how hard she is laughing. She's like, you're not going to like this. She hands me the paper. She's still laughing. I'm looking. And it says 6 to 8 months. And I was like, what? 6 to 8 months? By the time I'm healed, the next school year would have started. She's like, well, you can't rush if you're injured, you gotta take your time. And she's saying all this, but she's still laughing. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is not happening. I'm gonna somehow find a loophole to get me back into PE sooner. One day, the next day, I woke up, my knees were completely fine, no pain. But then I tested them out to make sure they were okay. I go to my, oh, no, that's not what happened, sorry. I was like, oh, I'm completely fine. I went to my mom. I was like, I don't feel any knee pain. She was like, it's only been like 4 weeks. I don't think you're completely healed yet. I was like, yeah, I'm fine. You have to write me a note so I could do PE again. She's like, okay, but let me do this first. Do a squat, do some lunges. And I bend down and I fall. I just fall right on my butt. I'm like, dang it. It was all going good, but then I had to do those lunges. She's like, yeah, you're not healed. Like, man, I bet I could have ran. And I was like kind of upset at her. I was like, man, you made my knees hurt again. I was doing fine for that 1 hour. But yeah, I set out. I don't think, from what I remember, I didn't wait this whole 6 to 8 months because I was very impatient. And that's probably why my knees still hurt every now and then when I put too much pressure on them. But that was really funny, just her laughing at me. But yeah, I can't really think of anything else. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else besides her just caring for us during everything. No, like, deciding moments I can think of right now, but yeah, thanks for listening.
Hi. My name's Julie. I am one of the nurses that was privileged to work with Monika at Lake Point in labor and delivery. There's a group of us here today, and I'm going to speak on behalf of all of us, even if they don't give me permission to. So, I was privileged to work with her for about half of my labor and delivery career. Each day that she was delivering babies was a great day. Everything you guys say about her, we saw it. She would walk in every morning with her earbuds in, singing. And none of us thought she couldn't sing because she had so much confidence. We were like, she's great, you know? But she would sing and she'd have a bright red lipstick on and she'd be ready. And she was always in a good mood and she loved her patients, but she also loved the staff. She really knew what it meant to be a team. It wasn't just the doctors and the nurses and the techs and the anesthesiologists and this, it was the team. And every amount of respect that she had, she earned. She was there through the good times, the bad times. She was there not just as a doctor we were working with, but as a friend. She came to our weddings. She celebrated when we had our babies. She came to the Christmas parties. In fact, she participated in The Biggest Loser with all of us and told us we were going down. She was very competitive too. And in fact, she would come most mornings from the doctor's lounge with a big thing of bacon. And you know, first we thought she was just being nice, and then we realized she wanted us to lose. So she was bringing us bacon. But she would come and she would always smile. She was always there when you need her. She would take care of her patients, but she took care of the staff too. Nobody was going to talk to staff that she worked with ugly. She wasn't going to put up with it. She was going to tell people where they needed to be. About 9 years ago, she was an awesome friend to me. I got diagnosed with pretty advanced cancer, and she was the first one with the doctors that walked up with tears streaming down her face and said, "You're going to beat this. You've got this. We're all going to do it together." And, you know, it's just going to be a little bit hard that she's not going to be here to share her joy with everyone. But we can all see right now that these girls, every bit of goodness in her lives on in these girls. So thank you for sharing her with us, because I know a lot of times with an OBGYN, they spend a lot of times and a lot of nights and days with work people more than they do their family. And it was an honor and a privilege to work with her.
Hello. My name's Jalen. I am her little cousin, son of Shantae. I would like to thank everybody for showing up today. It really means a lot to us because, you know, family, we're all we have, very small. Losing her was a really big piece of us, really big piece, and we're really gonna miss her a lot. So I would like to thank all of you guys for showing up and being here with us, sharing memories, experiencing laughter, all the stories Khyral told us. Yeah, I'd just like to thank you guys. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Monika Hearne, auntie, and my sister, Dianne, my brother there at Marcus, and my family here, and all of the staff. We just like to thank you guys so much for coming out and supporting us and being part of this amazing time. And just understand, while we're all here, we got to do the best that we can because life is not promised to us the next minute we walk out that door. And the people that we have in our life, we must love, cherish, and do the best we can to get along, no matter what, because life is not promised to none of us. And what I want to say about my baby here, she was the joy of our life, and her brother just as well. He came before she did. He was the joy of our life. And the family name that I gave her personally was Buffy. And if you understand, back in the 70s, there was a show on called Jody and Buffy. And I said, wow, my sister was pregnant, and I said, wow, if you have a girl, I'm gonna name her Buffy. And she said, oh, okay, that'll be nice, because we are big on nicknames. Big on nicknames. It goes from, I know he don't like for us to call it, but I'm gonna call it. I'm a big boy now. Snoopy. We have Snoopy. Then we have Buffy. We got Tay-Tay, Junior, Kiki. I got grandkids, Biscuit and Gravy. You know, we got a new one on the way. That may be T-Bone or, what's his name? Cornbread. So we are big on nicknames. And my nickname, of course, is Rabbit, because I ran track. And then my dad named me Fast, because I was a fat, bald-headed little girl. But my family knows that, and these are family names that we do have. And the reason why I named her that, from that show, if you guys know that show, you can Google it, I'm sure, because, hey, you can find anything now. But Jody and Buffy was this show. And these was the rich little children that had butlers, they had maids, they had all this. And that's what inspired to call me her that. And so that name just sailed on to her future, because that's what she stands for right there. She had everything that those children had. And I was just like, I was telling my daughter, and I said, that's where it came from. Nobody know where Buffy came from. And she didn't like that once she got older, just like Mario didn't like Snoopy, because they felt they growed out of it. But you never grow out of a heart-to-heart love that comes from the family. And that's what that means. And I just want to thank you guys for being here, even her daughters, just not knowing that, hey, Auntie Robin named her Buffy. And it means so much to me, because she was the most beautiful baby. As you can see, when it wasn't because she was fluffy, it was because she was Buffy. And I just picked that name from that story, because I said, it inspired me, and just to see her grow up as a go-getter, and they always wanted to excel her from one grade to another grade. Her mom said, no, she's gonna go with her class. I mean, she was just the smartest person on earth that I ever known. And I'm speaking this because I lived it, I witnessed it. And that's just what she was, a genuine, smart, intelligent doctor. And all of you guys have witnessed that. And we all are missing her, and it's gonna go on, but I just want everyone to know, we all have our family matters, our family drama, our family issues, but the main thing is, we need to stay together, pull together, and continue to pray together. Amen. Many blessings to you guys. I love you. And sister, I'm here if you need me. Thank you guys.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mina. I met Monika from Tay, and this is a hard one for me. Since I came to Texas, you guys have been my family. Y'all welcomed me in, and Monika was my karaoke partner. Yes. We sang like it was nobody's business, and she had a heart of gold. Like she always laughed. She was always happy. She was always supportive. She always gave it to you, the truth, whether you liked it or not. I just keep hearing Rihanna in my head. I told Tay this morning, I keep hearing her singing Rihanna, because she was like, that was one of her favorite songs, She's definitely going to be missed, and my prayers go out to all of you. It surely does. And if there's anything y'all need, just let me know. Love you guys.
Thank you.
Good evening, afternoon. So my name is Sean. I had an opportunity to meet Dr. Hearne, I don't know, about 7 years ago or so. I was one of her business partners, and I've gotten an opportunity to see a lot more and hear a lot more about her. I knew she was a special person from the day that I met her professionally. And with that being said, and I was thinking about the girls, because she always said my girls when we were doing certain planning. And so I want you guys to know that not only did she live this beautiful life, with you guys, and I had an opportunity to spend some time with Dianne and the girls when they were little. I look a little different now. I got a little gray and my hair kind of grew out. But at the end of the day, I think the most important thing that I really loved about Monika is that she was a visionary. And so all these beautiful things we hear today, what I love about her is that she was still thinking down the road for those girls, as she called them. And so it's beautiful to know that she had a beautiful life. And so were her daughters. Their life will continue because she made provisions to make sure things were in a great place for them. And I think that's the peace that we should have when we think about leaving, that we make sure things are in order and things are in place, because we just don't know when that time comes. And so I appreciated the opportunity to be able to serve her and work with her professionally. And even when I went to the clinic, it was the same person. You meet with some people professionally, they like this at work, but they like this other place. I appreciate the fact that she was the same every time I met her. in every meeting and every opportunity we had to talk about certain things. She was consistent. You know what you got, and you didn't have to guess about a lot of things. And more importantly, the things that we put together, the things we thought about, she carried them out. She played the long ball. She wasn't about the immediate gratification and things. And so it's a privilege to say that I had an opportunity to work with her. It's really cool to sit and listen because I've only known her for the last 7 in a particular space. But to hear, her life and how it blessed so many people. And that's what life's about. It's about legacies. It's about leaving something behind, because when we're all gone, we want to have these conversations and they all be true, right? And so I'm appreciative to the family and for allowing me to serve in that capacity in her life. And it's just a privilege to have known someone that have given so much. And so I thank you guys for being here to share life, and awesome for your daughter to be able to stand up here to share that with us. That's huge to know what she has in her, and we know where all that come from. So once again, I'm appreciative to have known her these last 7 years, and she was just not a great person today. She will continue to be a great person because these babies will continue to make her the great person that she wants to be. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Tish Hearne, and I am the wife of her brother-in-law, Charleston Hearne. And I just wanted to come and say on behalf of my husband and some of his family on the Hearne side that we love Monika. And I met Monika almost 16 years ago. And Shantae and the family, and Jalen was a baby, little boy. And Monika, everything that's been said is so true. Her smile, she's beautiful. The first time I met her, I knew her before even meeting her because Charleston would have all these stories about when he first met her when they were like 14 years old or something. I don't know, they were young, like kids, it seemed. He was a kid, and he always talked about how brilliant she is, and he would tell me all these stories about how eclectic Monika was. And I just love that word to describe her, because if you know her, you know, and from everything that was said, she had such a beautiful spirit of wonder. She was all things to so many different people. And so I appreciate my husband for just the stories that he's told about Monika and them growing up, and also just allowing me to be a part of the family in this way and to love on her. And Shantae, you're my girl, and I love you, and you're my heart, and I'm thinking of you. And to her girls, Khyral and Khyris, I love y'all so much, and we're here for you, whatever you need. And Ed and just the Hearne family. So we love y'all.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I would like to thank everybody for coming out. I really wasn't going to get up here and say something, but it's something on my heart. It's been on my heart for a long time. Our family had a gathering, and I saw her mother there, Dianne, and I had heard about her being sick and coming home, and I was really wondering, was our family going to get together and do a party or celebration, because we celebrate and party so much. And the whole time I'm sitting there, I keep having that thought that day in my mind when I was talking to her mother. And to see this day, I'm gonna be honest, y'all, this morning I felt very sad to have to come and see this. But show you how God works. When I heard everybody's stories and heard her daughter and saw her daughter, I was happy. I was happy that, this might sound sad, but I know some things. I'm happy that she wasn't brought up around my family. And I'm happy that she was brought up with the people she was brought up with because they loved her. They instilled something in her that made her be who God created her, greatness. And she showed her greatness. She got the title doctor. Yes. You know, we have an elder uncle in the house that come from her great-grandmother brother. That's her great-grandmother brother sitting right there. And he was telling me a story about Buffy earlier. He was like, Buffy used to always give him a joke and tell him about his belly. He said, yeah, I'm going to deliver your baby for you. And he said, yeah, before her daughters came in, he said, one of them, she named one of them, they got the middle name. They got my middle name. And I was like, I just was amazed that, just from a spiritual point of view, that when I was a little kid, we had this book. It had like all these pictures of all the elder people in it, and everybody's birthday, my birthday, your birthday, if you're part of the family, your name and your birthday was wrote in that book. This book had my uncle. He played football, basketball, he ran track, he was in the service. And we as little kids just look at that book over and over, and we thought Uncle Eula was like the biggest, greatest, most powerful thing on the planet. Like, we was like, Uncle Eula was everything. And so he was like a superhero to us. And I think that is amazing that she cracked jokes with him about, you know, I'm gonna deliver your baby, talking about his stomach, and actually how she gave her child his middle name, because I think they're the only greatness in our family that I know of. She got a title that she earned, a doctor. And Uncle Eula, like I say, my family is a party family. That uncle has never had a drink or drug or nothing in his life. He's still living. And ain't that amazing? She named one of her daughters after him. Just from a spiritual point of view, that's an angel. She was an angel. That's why they say good and evil can't do well in the same place. She was around the right people, and she lived her life accordingly. And she left us with something that we not only should cherish, but we should try to move in that direction. We should try to move and live and be her. They say look for a role model. Well, not like having one in your family, right? Hallelujah. I thank y'all, and I thank God.
We're going to go ahead and close it out. There's no one else that wants to say anything. Okay. Well, I thank all of you guys for coming, and we appreciate your time. And be safe getting home. Thank you.